Okay, we're working on a 350 on the K30, the 84 K30. I'm going to be changing the exhaust manifold gasket on this side. And so in the past, I've been doing this for quite a while. I've worked on 60s, no later than 60s cars, but 60s, 70s, 80s, and I've done exhaust manifolds before. In my earlier days, I did not. I may have sprayed some penetrating lube on it, but I never heated them up. I never did anything besides crack them loose and take them out. I have not had one broken bolt yet, but now in my later days, this time will be the first time that I apply heat to them, because I really don't want to deal with them possibly breaking off. And the one down there on the, I guess you call it collector exit joint, when they put the exhaust on, they welded the exhaust on afterwards, so you can't get a socket on it. I am concerned about those ones. So I took little wire brushes and got the threads as much as possible. I sprayed penetrating oil on them, and man, I am really nervous about that, because if that doesn't come off, I'm gonna be in trouble. But anyway, here we go. Okay, so we've gotten these out. These are super easy. So the one that was the pipe was too close to the nut and I couldn't get a socket up there, so the whole stud came out, which was super convenient. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, so when did Chevrolet go to metric on their nuts and bolts? This is the only 80s Chevrolet I've had. I've had everything else, but not 80s. I just happen to have, because I've taken all of my metric stuff up to our cabin, because that I have not had a car that has metric stuff on it. It's just my motorcycle. So you want to get around the exhaust manifold and not necessarily on the bolt. I don't know why that's flaming up. And I just heard a crack. Let's give it a shot. And like I said, I only have one socket. So I don't have the larger drive. I've only got the small drive. See what happens. We're going to go tighter, slightly, and it just turned a little bit. Can't get any leverage. There we go. Then we'll go tighten it again, and we'll loosen it again. I do not like that hose, just keeps camera's moved. Sorry. And I should be taking the center ones off, but we've got this end bolt, because sometimes they warp. The whole exhaust manifold warps. So we're just going to leave that one like that and move on to the next one. Okay, so all the bolts came out easy. I always save the most difficult one to get to for last, because, you know, just like anything else, if you take the bolts off around it, then that loosens up the last one. Mark your spark plug wires. The previous owner zip tied the spark plug wires together, and that doesn't seem very smart. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to get this off, clean up and put a gasket on it. The gasket is thicker, so I'm kind of worried about alignment with your collector. Okay, so I'm going to take this hanger off so the pipe can drop down, because at this point I can't, the exhaust valve doesn't want to come off because of the studs. So I'm going to wire wheel these studs off, not wire wheel, but wire brush them off and loosen them. Okay, so I just loosened it up, and you can see up at the front there maybe that the exhaust pipe is coming up and down on those studs, so it's not tight. Okay, so this exhaust manifold it had no gasket on it, and it is in rough shape. So I've got I believe this is 80 grit. Let's see, 80 grit. Or a belt sander, and I've got it wood clamped to the flat table saw face. So I've already got, like, this one is nice and smooth. The center one, so I'm going to try to do this and see if I can get them reasonably flat. But if I can't get that center one, because I've already got that right there, so we're working our way over, I'm going to have to get another exhaust manifold. Okay, we have sanded these down as much as we can. And that right there bothers me. That bothers me a little bit. We're going to stick a little bit of ultra black in the center two ports. It's a light, thin coat just to fill that in. And we're going to put a little bit of ultra black on the connection on the exhaust pipe coming in there. We've wire wheeled everything, the bolts and everything else, over on the wire wheel. We have used the drill with the wire wheel on it to clean everything on the other mating surface on the head. I put a little bit of anti-seize on all the bolts, which will just burn off. So assemble this back together just like you took it off, and if all else fails, I didn't see any cracks on this manifold, you can take these in and get them machined. And that's what I did with my 306, because both intake and exhaust manifold bolt in together. So you have to take both of them in and have them machined, because you don't want to take them off again. And yes, my hand is really dirty because this is a dirty job. So this was not too bad. I don't understand why there was no gasket on it, but here we go. It should be leak free, knock on wood. I don't know where Frank is, I don't know where Maisie is, and I don't really care. Thanks for watching.